So to start with, there have been many announcements. Why is it so important that Saudi is becoming this destination?
Honestly, Saudi has really focused on tourism in the past few years because we're looking, as part of our Vision 2030, to diversify away from oil. And what better way to do that than through tourism? Tourism represented 10% of global GDP around the world right before the pandemic hit. It is the core, it is the generator of jobs because it is the most human-centric industry that exists today. So by default, as moving forward for us as a nation with everything that we see that's going on, we are focusing on this sector. It's on the forefront of everything that we're doing. This is why it became a national priority for us. I think with your comment on the announcements, tourism is something that connects countries, connects people, bridges cultures across. And you can't work on your own tourism sector by yourself, especially through the pandemic. The pandemic has taught us just how vulnerable our sector is and how much we need to work together and how much collaboration needs to exist on a multilateral level, but also between private and public sector. So I think as being the new people on the block within tourism, it was easy for us to sort of take a sit back, look at the full image and understand what are these issues, what needs to be done, how do we prioritize, and then how do we set a roadmap to all work together in really recovering the sector and by default helping our recoveries and our countries and our economies recover.
What solutions post-pandemic have you put in place here to encourage that tourism to come to the kingdom?
Honestly, we have to look at it in different angles. So one, again, when we go back to the human-centric element, which is the name and the focal point of this investment initiative that we're here for, the FII, which is humanity, we need to look, 60 million jobs were lost over the past few years, globally. So I think one of the first initiatives that we did is we launched the Global Tourism Academy, where it's open for the world. We're going to train people and we're going to make this more resilient from a community element. And that's one of the first initiatives that we've launched. The second one is how do we help communities and tourism villages become more resilient moving forward? And we've launched with the UNWTO the Tourism Communities Initiative, which is a fund that's also with the World Bank where we put $100 million to support these villages and help them come back and be at the forefront. But I think the key one and the critical one, tying all of sustainability in together, was the Global Tourism Sustainability Center that was announced by the Crown Prince during the Saudi Green Initiative a few days ago. And this looks at environment, social, economic, all elements, and to work together as nations and collaborate with key people within international organizations, but private sector as well, to help us build the way forward.
I think what's exciting is as well, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is pretty much unexplored for a lot of tourists around the globe. You know, what makes it such an attractive place to come and check out?
It's people. I think Saudi people, that's what I've been hearing every single day. People are surprised by how hospitable Saudi people are, how passionate they are, how educated they are, their thirst for knowledge, how much they want to export their culture and how much they want to share with the world. But also, we have this element of beautiful, beautiful destinations that people, they think Saudi Arabia, they think desert. They don't know that we have untouched shorelines on the Red Sea with beautiful corals, and it's a fantastic destination. It's diverse paradise. But we also have green mountains in the south, which people don't believe. It also snows in the north in January and February. So I think the diversity of our destination, but on top of that, covered by the Saudi hospitable people, is why people should come and see Saudi Arabia.
Brilliant. Just very quickly back to what we talked about at the start. You know, why is connection important? Why is it, you know, it's not just about people coming here and learn, and I guess, you know, the kingdom are learning from the other countries as well. How can we all work together to ensure we all move forward in the right direction?
Again, start with having the right stakeholders. The right people need to be sitting on the table together, because today what's happening and what we saw during the pandemic is each country looked inward. And this is why we're not recovering today. This is why things are not picking up in the way and the speed that they should pick up. Whereas Saudi has done this through the G20 presidency, where we realized international organizations need to be there, countries need to be there, but private sector need to be there. They're the ones delivering. 80% of our sector is driven by SMEs and private sector. So I think we did this through the G20 presidency, but we need to have more permanent solutions moving forward. And this is why, we've opened up the UNWTO regional office. We announced this Global Tourism Sustainability Center. We really need to increase the number of platforms out there that encourage this dialogue, but also focus on what the real issues are and how to resolve them together.